welcome back. Unranked podcast. You have Elijah here along with Grant. We're going to touch on a couple, mostly all basketball topics today, starting with the NBA. Then we're going to touch on a little bit of Olympic basketball and follow that up with, heavy Pistons, what they should do in this draft. Both being, local Michigan kids here, local Pistons fans. So, anything you want to say, Grant?
Yeah, no. So just like you said, to hit it off, we're a real basketball heavy segment. I'm just gonna kind of dive into what's going on with the finals. Just kind of talk about that 0-2 Team USA start, and then this is where we think hopefully the Pistons can kind of take some of that momentum from last year's draft, and having those all NBA kids, or all rookie team kids, be able to go to play for Team USA and. Just looks like everything's looking on the upside for the Pistons. We hope they can keep that momentum going in the draft.
Yes, sir. So, we're going to touch on tonight's game. Should be tipping off here rather soon. So, we're going to try to, get this one out tonight before this game gets going too much. But we have the Bucks heading in, down 2-1. Giannis has been, dominating. He was able to snatch one the last time around. So, it's going to be rather interesting just to see what they could do and put together this time, whether he can keep dominating and go out there and get a dub, because it's kind of, real backs against the wall. I'm not sure if you don't get this one, how good your chances are to go out there and do it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, so I just kind of piggyback off of that. I think it's going to be great games, probably be the best game of the series. They say this is like usually that game that kind of decides which way things are going to go. Because if they end up going 2-2, it turns to a best of three, and then, if Phoenix finds a way to steal this game, his chances are pretty good in their favor. They're going to win it all. I think just from the Phoenix Suns side of things, I see Devin Booker. He had a pretty bad game last go around, to where he didn't even play like almost the entire fourth quarter. I expect him to come out and be very aggressive, trying to get to the line to see that ball go into the rim. Just kind of shake off the little bit of that rust that he's had over the last few games. I also see Chris Paul just really kind of get into that takeover mode like he did that closeout game against the Clippers and a closeout game against the Nuggets, to where, I see him probably just being more on like a score first type basis. Obviously still doing what he does as a point guard, one of the best point guards in the game, but I do kind of feel like he'll be kind of more wanting to put the ball in the basket, put pressure on the Bucks defense, and keep that pace going up and down to give themselves like a good fighting chance to steal one in Milwaukee.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think this game is really going to come out to how hot can the Bucks come out. I entirely anticipate them being at home, taking last game. They come out and really jump on them and get a good lead. And maybe they could just keep that momentum and ride it out. So I think it's going to come out to, if they can come out hot like I kind of anticipate, and what the Suns can do about as far as, maintaining that, weathering the storm, and kind of chipping into the lead and making it a close game as you head into the second half. Yeah. So that's kind of how I anticipate the game going, is them to kind of get a good jump. The Suns chip back into it throughout the game, and then it's kind of whoever can put it together at the end the most. So.
Right.
That's kind of my 2 cents on that. I do think Giannis has been playing incredible. I think, he's dominating, putting up big numbers, points, rebounds. You mentioned earlier how he's not afraid to get to the line, even with the struggles. Yeah. So, I am impressed. Obviously, Chris Paul has been doing his thing, but, Devin Booker's had a couple shaky games.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the younger players are they're going to try to, they should have to come out and prove themselves this time around. Maybe if Devin Booker can come out, or if Giannis can continue it. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is one of them pivotal games. This is really going to be the one that, in a sense, ultimately decides the series.
Yeah.
Depending on which way it goes, it'll have a huge impact on how the series plays out. But no, it's gonna. I think obviously it's gonna be a good one. I think Giannis is gonna. I think he's already kind of spilled that blood in the water. It's still crazy to me that his knee Like, it looked like you thought he would have tore something, a couple weeks back, and now he's out there putting up 40 and 15. So I'm definitely looking forward to this matchup tonight.
Yeah, yeah. So, just kind of wrap up. I think this ultimately the Suns still pull it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I am impressed with Giannis, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in Milwaukee, whether he can, uh, this time around and going forward, how that's going to play out. Because if he can get to championships and potentially win, that's what more can you really ask for? So that's what you're looking to do here. So
Right. And yeah, it's also one of them things too where, Nets can stay healthy next year and keep everybody on that team.
right, and get
Like,
the order of the ball game.
this window for the Bucks, it might not be there
That's true.
next couple years. So you got like Philly, they're playing really well. Atlanta, they can get a piece or two, and they had a lot of guys that are injured and stuff that didn't play a ton in the playoffs for them. So this is the Bucks' time to kind of get out there and just go at Phoenix and try to change the momentum in this series and possibly bring a title to Milwaukee.
For sure. You brought up KD, and KD was unable to put it together with Brooklyn this year. Literally half an inch away from being in the finals right now. So, it's kind of interesting to see from him roll from that to, well, first of all, he was injured for what seemed like the longest time, to roll into this playoff run, and then momentum that he has now heading into